so you're experiencing the next level challenges that come with the practice, which is I have a bunch of moves and I'm integrating these moves, but how do I get them to flow together? So ideally, you would come to class with, say, 10 moves that you want to integrate into flow, 5 of which are new moves that you're not yet comfortable integrating into your improv, that you want to figure out how to work with the other 4 moves that you don't know, and then the other list of 5 moves you're comfortable with. So one thing that I like to do, as you may or may not remember, I do these follow the flows where people follow what I'm doing, but that's not always as effective as people for themselves. Like, you're practicing a move. What if you start practicing a combo that includes that move? And what if we make you combos that use those moves? So if you come with a list of 5 stretch moves and 5 core moves, then we can, in class, put together, or I can make up a combo for you that you can start practicing, and you can start thinking of the combo as a move as opposed to just thinking of the move. This helps your flow in multiple ways because if you think about, if you're in your flow and you're thinking about what you're going to do next, and you're always thinking in terms of moves take less than a second to maybe 3 seconds if it's a complicated move that you're repeating like 3 times or something, right? Like a 4 verse 0 or something. But when you start thinking about the move instead of the move itself, but a move and some things around it, either a dynamic duo where you have a pair of moves that you repeat back and forth, or an infinite combo where you have a series of moves that cycle in a circle. When you're in the flow, the next thing that you're thinking about, first of all, you have more time before you have to think about what the next thing is, first. And second, because you have the fluidity of the whole combo, you don't have to worry as much of, wait, how do I get into the direction for that one version of that move that I know in that direction? You don't have to think that way anymore because you just think about the combo. And by making combos that have things from your core and things that are stretch, you can use, it's kind of like Uno, right? You use your core move to transition into this combo, and then you can exit at your core move because it's an infinite combo that starts and ends in the same place. But you can start it at any point in the combo. So you can use any of so if you have like 2 moves that are really comfortable and 3 moves that aren't comfortable in the flow, you can use either of the 2 moves that are comfortable easily enough to transition in and out of the combo. And then that way you can also fit these other things that are more stretch moves into it. And then ultimately what will end up happening is, as this combo gets more comfortable and these moves become more in your core, then you can continue this process where the things that were stretch moves before become your core moves, and then you have new stretch moves, and then you start making new infinite combos that are more complicated, and so on and so on. This is how I have developed my style and repertoire. In general, there, sometimes just shit happens while I'm spinning and I just go with the flow. But that's, to me, that's like just the muscle memory of having done it enough times to be able to go with the flow. But if you're feeling limited because you don't have a way to flow, then you're kind of screwed from the get-go, and that's not helpful. This then gets into a question of how long do you want your combos to be? How easy are they to remember? How many moves is the ideal number of moves for you to have in a combo? Your infinite combo could be as simple as this, where it's just spiral, catchback, spiral, catchback, spiral, catchback, right? It could be like that, but it could be something much more complicated, like it might be in a 4-pedal anti-spin like this, and then stall back, then come across like that in the pendulum. And then when I get to the front, do a pendulum around the head while I'm continuing the 4-pedal with this hand. Come all the way around, get to here, turn, and then go into the air wrap. So, and then often end it with a travolta at the end, like that. But I do other things as well. But the specific combo, so if I did it at speed, right? 4-pedal anti-spin, stall back, pendulum across the bottom, pendulum around the head, come around, and air up, but hopefully better than that. It's not a long combo, but I feel like much longer than that, and in a sense, all choreography is just long combos. But I feel like past a certain number of moves in a row, I feel like when you get past 5, 6, 7 moves, that's a little bit more complicated to try and fit into the flow and remember easily. And I feel like in the 3 to 6 range is probably the right number of moves. But that's me with my years of practice doing this. You may feel more comfortable just starting out with dynamic duos where you're just working on 2 moves connected to each other. So like for you, one thing that would be really great is just if you had a simple way of getting in, like you definitely know the butterfly, right? So if you went into giant butterfly, you could turn into either. So this is right over, and then this is left over. And just having, and that, I mean, and technically you could switch between those two, and then what you've done is you've made a 4 move infinite combo. And you can start and end in any place. And you can use as your transition into it, oh, okay, maybe I don't have the big giant as my transition into it, but I'll go back to my little butterfly. And maybe you don't use split time often, so maybe you start in the same time butterfly to get into the split time butterfly, to then make the split time butterfly big, to then turn into the cap this way, back to the split time big butterfly, and then turn into the cap this way, back into the split time, and then boom. And then eventually, what you'll do is you'll take out the full butterfly and you'll just be doing this to this, to this, to this. Maybe. I mean, maybe not. You could still put the butterfly in there. There's no shame in that game. It's all variety at that point.